Naruto is bleeding money. Now, what I mean by that is to say that they are losing a lot of money by wasting financial and storytelling potential. Naruto is without a doubt one of the most popular anime/manga franchises ever created, and yet, nothing new comes of it. The Naruto fandom is still very much alive, and it's very surprising that it is because we hardly ever get any new Naruto content in any shape or form. And if the fandom is still pretty healthy nowadays, even after over a decade from the manga's ending and almost a decade from the anime's ending, one could only imagine how much more popular the series would be if it was still releasing content regularly, and how much more money the creators of Naruto, Shonen Jump, and even Kishimoto himself would make. You may say Boruto is fulfilling that role right now, and I would completely disagree with you. You may not think this because you may live in a quote-unquote Boruto bubble online, but the vast majority of people who enjoy Naruto, that were Naruto fans, that used to watch Naruto when he came out, or that read the manga when it was coming out, do not watch or read Boruto in any capacity. Most of them have never even touched the series. Some of them have started and dropped it pretty early on, and only a small portion of Boruto fans nowadays were people that used to like Naruto when he was coming out. Most Boruto fans are actually going to be people that already grew up with Boruto, so a younger generation, and therefore a generation with less disposable income to spend on your IP. I could give you an example. When Naruto was coming out, I knew at least 20 people in real life that used to follow Naruto. They were Naruto fans, that we talked about Naruto. Some of them were friends, some of them were acquaintances, but I knew at least 20 people that watched Naruto. I do not know a single person in real life that reads or watches Boruto. I only have one friend that watched a bit of Boruto and dropped it, and then watched the time travel arc for nostalgia's sake, but that's it. Also, the last time I went to an anime convention, I saw hundreds of people wearing Naruto merch, hundreds of people wearing Akatsuki cloaks, and I was pretty impressed at the popularity that Naruto still has up until this day. Guess how many people I saw cosplaying as a Boruto character or wearing Boruto merch? I saw one person in the entire convention. So the cultural footprint that Boruto created doesn't even come close to what Naruto used to be. And even when you take into account the Boruto manga sales, it's been declining steeply ever since the manga started, proving that the series does not have the exact same quality that Naruto used to have and maintaining a pretty decent sales record throughout its entire run. This graph right here shows the sales of physical Boruto mangas throughout its run. Obviously, physical sales is not everything. There's going to be online sales, the anime also makes money, there's going to be merch, but this shows a very clear trend. Boruto is on the decline, and it has been ever since it started. This graph is split into volumes ever since 2016, with the first volume being the first time Boruto came online, and because of the hype the Naruto series had recently ended, people were curious to see what Boruto was going to be about. The sales were very much higher. Boruto sold 417,000 volumes in the first volume of its run, but then in the second volume, the sales dropped over 60,000 volumes to 345,000, and it's been declining ever since. In the last volume of 2023, Boruto only sold 102,000 physical copies, and it actually had a bit of an increase in the first semester of 2024 to 113,000 copies because Two Blue Vortex came, and because it's a new series and a time skip, it will generate a little bit more hype, but only 10,000 more copies. It is not exactly great, and if this trend happens to the volumes of the manga, it's obviously going to happen to the anime and other things Boruto as well. This graph shows pretty clearly that Boruto could never establish itself as a series of its own, and desperately needs the name recognition of Naruto to stay alive. So Boruto is now really cutting it both for the fandom in general, because most Naruto fans do not enjoy Boruto, and also from a financial standpoint. Now, don't get me wrong, selling 100,000 copies of the manga in a semester is not exactly terrible if you take an average manga. It's a number that's going to make you a profit, but it's definitely not nearly what Naruto used to do. So obviously, the franchise is not tapping into its utmost potential, and we can clearly see that there is still a lot of interest in the Naruto franchise, with the Naruto Top 99 popularity poll that happened a couple of years ago. And that popularity poll, sure, people had to vote and fight for their favorite characters, so that would stoke the fandom a lot, but at the end of the day, we only got a single manga chapter out of it of 55 pages, and it was still far more impactful in terms of fandom ripples than any Boruto chapter has been since, I guess, Brian Mode Naruto. So there is obviously a demand for Naruto content out there. I mean, I have a Naruto channel and people still watch Naruto videos. Up until this day, I get a lot of views. People are clearly still interested in Naruto, and imagine how interested they would be if there was still content coming out. The fandom would be that much more massive, and all the creators would make just that much more money. So I would like to speculate a little bit about what the Naruto franchise could do in order to get more money and also reignite the passion of its fandom for real, because Boruto is simply not cutting it. Now, the first problem is Boruto in that case, because Naruto has become Boruto in a way. They put all the eggs in the same basket, and the basket fell off an abyss. Even after the time skip, people show absolutely no interest in Boruto, only a small pocket of fans. The franchise is no longer the juggernaut that it used to be. And this has been the main mistake. Everything they focused on was Boruto. First, because Kishimoto was no longer paying too much attention to the Naruto franchise, as after he finished Naruto, he worked on Samurai 8, a manga that got quickly cancelled by Shonen Jump because of its terrible sales and lack of success. And even after they say Kishimoto reportedly started writing Boruto again, he said it himself in his latest interview in France that no, he is actually no longer working in Boruto, he is just an audience member now, which gives me this feeling that they sidelined Kishimoto so that they could do whatever they wanted with Boruto, and it certainly didn't work out so well. If you compare the storytelling of any Boruto chapter to the storytelling of the Minato One Shot manga, which was 100% written and drawn by Kishimoto, it's like comparing a fanfic written by a 12-year-old to Hamlet. So he is clearly no longer involved, which has damaged the franchise probably beyond repair. And that's the thing, in their desperation to make Boruto work, they focused all their efforts into making more Boruto content, games, merch. They were all Boruto focused ever since 2016. The only exception for that was the Minato One Shot, and oddly enough, it was the best thing that came out ever since Naruto ended. I understand their mindset. Making more Naruto content, focusing on characters from the Naruto series would probably take away the focus from the Boruto series, and this is not what they would want to do. After all, they want the Boruto series to succeed, and if there is competitors from the same universe, people are not going to consume Boruto anymore. They will see, and I guess I don't really like the series about aliens coming to Earth and, trying to destroy the planet using massive trees. That has clearly not gotten them anywhere, has it? So much so that even the Boruto anime is no longer airing, and there hasn't been any talks about renewing it. Two Blue Vortex will probably be adapted into an anime, but it feels like at this point they're just sprinting to the finishing line. There isn't much more we can squeeze out of this cash cow, so yeah, let's just end it. Boruto's not gonna get cancelled, the manga is still gonna go for its duration, but it's probably never going to reach past 200,000 copies sold in this graph here, if I were to bet. And as I can affirm, people still crave Naruto, so what could they do about it? Well, there are a few things. Now, the most obvious one, but also probably the most difficult one, is to remake the anime. Naruto has 700 chapters, and if you adapt Naruto into a regular pace, without using fillers, without fluffing the story so that the episodes get very slow, which they did back in the day, you can adapt 3 chapters per episode, which will give you around 230, 240 episodes. But if you were to remake the anime, you would obviously make some fights much more grandiose than they are in the manga. You would improve a few moments here and there, add some extra cool animation. So let's say 260, 270 episodes for a remake of the anime with pristine animation, no fillers, just the manga story and a few improvements. If that happened, I guarantee you that Naruto would become the most popular anime again, and by a long margin. Naruto would eclipse Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer. You can just see the Google Trends here of Naruto and the other anime that I just mentioned. The peak of Naruto's popularity in early 2010 completely dwarfs the peak of any other anime, and Google Trends is a very good metric for the popularity of the anime. Yes, it's not the only metric, but the proportions of what people were searching are going to be similar across all platforms. And if Naruto came back, a new anime with great animation, especially Naruto Part 1, and in the beginning of the series that didn't have great animation, people would absolutely adore it. And if people got to consume Naruto without fillers and without the slow pacing of the anime, because if you don't know this, the Naruto manga is extremely fast-paced, people would devour it. And this would absolutely stoke the fandom, make Naruto become the greatest, most popular anime by a long shot again. But this is an extremely costly endeavor, and just very complicated to pull off. Much more so because the Naruto anime has ended relatively relatively recently. It hasn't even been a decade, so it's much too early for a remake. Well, I guess you could say that Naruto Part 1 started over 2 decades ago, so yeah, I guess it would warrant a remake, but it's better for you to do everything that you have to do to adapt the manga if you're going to do a remake and not just do Part 1, and they would also not start making a Naruto anime as the Boruto manga/anime is still going on. Now, there's the problem with the studio as well. Studios here out that animate Naruto are not the greatest studio in the entire world. Changing studios to a much better studio like MAPPA or Bones or anything of the sort would be far preferable if you're adapting Naruto into this format without fillers and seasonally, but it's extremely costly even though it would pay off, and they wouldn't do it until Boruto's done with. So this is a bit far-fetched, but there is an alternative that would give us new cool stories that would make them a lot of money, and that could be used in conjunction with Boruto still going on. And it is baffling to me that they haven't been exploiting this market ever since 2016 or whenever the Boruto movie came out. I am talking about movies. Now, anime movies are much more profitable than anime series. That's the reason why many shonen anime have crappy animation for the canon adaptation of the manga during the anime show, but have amazing animation for their filler movies, like Naruto has had so many times. They're gonna put more effort into what makes them more money, and because people buy tickets to go to the movie theater and watch the movie, that just makes them so much more money comparing to what the regular anime would do, even if it's adapting the canon stuff from the manga. That's also the reason why every shonen anime has so many movies, because they want to make money, and the movies usually have nothing to do with the plot of the manga. However, Naruto has been over, at least the manga, for over a decade. Kishimoto, as we've established, is not really working on anything else. So why don't you start making Naruto movies? Canon Naruto movies about popular characters or popular events that take place in the Naruto timeline. And why don't you use Kishimoto as a consultant? Or hell, if he wants to write it, let him write the movie, or at least co-write it, so that everything fits in with the canon and so that the movie feels like a Naruto story and not like a time travel story or a stupid going to the moon killing alien story. And then you can actually use these movies to expand upon the universe, give us cool character development, everything you can ask for, and get so much money. Think about this for a second. The highest grossing anime movie of all time is Demon Slayer Mugen Train. It grossed $506 million worldwide on a budget of $15.7 million. Usually you have to double the budget of any given movie to account for marketing expenses, so let's say Mugen Train cost $30 million to make. They still made $506 million. That gives you almost a 1700% profit margin, which is just absolutely insane. And yes, this movie is very much an outlier, and the reason why it did so well was because they adapted a canon arc of the manga that people wanted to see, and they sold the movie as a continuation of the anime series, while the anime series was extremely popular all around the world. I despise Demon Slayer as a story, but I have to say this marketing strategy and just business strategy overall was extremely smart and well thought out, so much so that it yielded the highest grossing anime movie of all time. And yes, because Naruto has been over for a while, the hype of, oh, let's adapt a canon story will probably not be the same, because, well, you can't really adapt a piece of the manga anymore. It wouldn't make sense unless you want to make a fight or a specific section of the story into a movie, which probably wouldn't work because it would be repeated content. This would work much better in a remake of the anime series, not in a movie per se. People would want to see a new story if they're going to watch a movie, but there are so many freaking stories you can adapt into a Naruto movie. You could easily adapt the Minato One Shot into a movie. Yes, you would have to write so much more into that story to make it happen, but it was a very fast-paced story, and you could add so many more elements into it. Minato in the war, interactions with Jiraiya and Kushina and everything, and make it into an hour and a half to a 2-hour movie, and just make a movie about Minato. It would make money. Make movies about very popular Naruto characters: Kakashi, Itachi, Obito, Madara, Minato, Sasuke, Naruto himself, I guess, even though he's been the protagonist of every single movie so far. An Itachi movie would make an ungodly amount of money because the Itachi fans would rewatch the movie 17 times in theaters and pay for the ticket 17 times. This is how the highest grossing movies become so profitable, because a lot of people that are fans rewatch them a lot in theaters. You could easily be making one of these movies every year. A movie's runtime is the equivalent of 4 to 6 6 anime episodes, which is not all that much. If you think about it, there were 50 or so Naruto episodes coming out every year back in the day, and sure, the movie animation is going to be much higher quality than your average Naruto episode, but it is still 1.5 to 2 hours of animation. That's pretty doable for an entire year. The budget of an average Naruto episode was around $100,000 back in the day, so if it's going to be a long movie that would be about 6 episodes in length, you could say an average budget would have been $600,000 for pretty questionable animation. But if you bump that budget to say $3 million, you can get much higher quality animation, and I guarantee you a Naruto movie will make more than $3 million in cinemas, especially if it's a canon movie, especially if Kishimoto is involved, and especially if it's about a very popular character. And this could be done while the Boruto series is still going on. It would bump the Naruto manga sales, it would bump the popularity of the Naruto anime, it would stoke the fandom, and hell, it would even bump the popularity of Boruto itself. But it's just weird, they've announced that Naruto is gonna get a few extra episodes 2 or 3 years ago now, and they haven't done anything yet. Actually, they went radio silent and gave no updates. How long can it take for you to make a few Naruto episodes? So I guess making a movie would be kinda hard. And who knows, maybe Kishimoto doesn't even feel like doing anything else. Maybe he's just fed up with the Naruto universe after the entire Boruto fiasco and the failure of Samurai 8. But he clearly seemed motivated to draw the Minato One Shot and passionate about it, and this would be much less labor intensive, seeing that he wouldn't be drawing anything, just writing and giving ideas to the writers of the movie. Give us one Naruto movie once a year, the Naruto fandom would love that, you guys would make money, everybody would win. But for some reason the Naruto franchise is completely caught up in its bastardized sequel that doesn't even work financially speaking for them. And they can use this moment now if we're going to keep Pierrot Studios as the Naruto anime studio. They are not making Boruto anymore. Use their manpower to create Naruto movies. And use Kishimoto as well, for the love of God. Watch this other cool Naruto video right here. Subscribe if you enjoy the content, and definitely like the video. This helps the channel out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, guys.